In the heart of a vast and ancient forest, there was a hidden world few humans knew about. This forest, known as Elderwood, was home to animals of every kind. The trees were tall and thick, their trunks so old that their roots had woven themselves into the very fabric of the land. The streams sparkled with crystal-clear water, and the air smelled of earth and pine. Elderwood was a place of magic, a place that had existed long before humans even dreamed of cities or machines. The creatures who lived there knew something important: the forest was special, and it had been protected for centuries by a secret group known only to the animals, the Forest Guardians. These guardians were not like regular animals, they had special abilities that allowed them to communicate with one another and sense the forest's deep magic. They had been chosen over the years, each one playing a unique role in keeping the forest safe from harm. One quiet morning, when the sun's first rays touched the canopy, a strange sound echoed through the forest. It was the sound of heavy machinery, of metal grinding against stone, and of humans. The guardians knew immediately what it meant: someone was coming to destroy the forest. The forest's magic seemed to tremble with fear. The mysterious humans were led by a man named Cyrus Wolf, a land surveyor for a corporation that had been buying up land to log for timber. He had heard rumors of the great forest and its valuable resources, and now he was determined to take it. His plan was simple: cut down the ancient trees, harvest the timber, and turn the land into something profitable. But what Cyrus didn't know was that the forest had its own protectors. The Guardians had sworn an oath to defend it, no matter the cost. As soon as the Guardians learned of the humans' arrival, they began to meet in secret. They gathered in the heart of the forest, where the magic was strongest, and shared what they knew about the humans' plans. The wise owl Athena, who could see into the past, spoke first. "We cannot allow them to harm the heart of the forest," she said in a calm voice. Her eyes gleamed with ancient knowledge. "The forest has already been here for centuries. It has seen more than we can even imagine." The fox Russet, always quick to act, was not so patient. "What are we waiting for?" she asked, her ears flicking nervously. "The humans are already moving in. We need to stop them before they even get close to the ancient trees." Nutkin, the squirrel, was silent for a moment. Though small and often overlooked, Nutkin had an innate sense of the forest's layout. He could navigate its twists and turns like no one else. "I can find the hidden paths," he said quietly. "If we move carefully, we can sabotage their efforts without them knowing." The Guardians knew that time was running out. The humans had begun setting up camp at the edge of the forest, bringing in their heavy equipment. Trees were already marked for cutting, and the machines hummed with the promise of destruction. It was clear that they would not leave without taking what they wanted. The Guardians gathered their strength. Russet took charge of organizing the forest's animals, sending word to the birds and the creatures of the underbrush. Soon, animals of all kinds were ready to help. The rabbits hopped in the shadows, the birds flew high above, and even the deer stood ready to act. The animals understood that their home was in danger, and they were willing to fight. Meanwhile, Athena began to use her ability to peer into the past. She closed her eyes, and visions began to swirl before her. Through the trees and the underbrush, she saw glimpses of the forest's long history, tales of battles fought to protect its magic, of creatures from ancient times who had come together to keep it safe. She also saw the humans' plans more clearly and began to uncover the secrets of their machines and tools. As the days passed, the Guardians observed the humans more closely. They saw how the workers moved methodically, cutting down trees and hauling away the wood. It was clear that the humans were focused solely on their goal, unaware of the creatures watching them from the shadows. Then, one night, as the Guardians gathered around a glowing pool deep in the forest, the magic of the land began to stir. Strange things began to happen. The trees rustled, though no wind blew. The ground seemed to hum with energy, as if the forest itself was waking up. Athena opened her eyes, startled by the sudden surge of magic. "The forest is aware of the danger," she whispered. "It is awakening, and it will help us fight back." The next morning, the Guardians put their plan into motion. Nutkin, with his small but quick feet, darted through the forest, finding hidden paths that would allow them to move unnoticed. Russet rallied the animals, sending the birds to scout from the skies and the rabbits to create distractions. Meanwhile, Athena focused on locating the ancient artifacts that had been hidden in the forest long ago. These were powerful magical relics, each one holding a piece of the forest's heart. When the time came, the Guardians launched their attack. Nutkin led the way, guiding the others through the forest's hidden paths, while Russet called upon the animals to create confusion. As they approached the humans' camp, they saw that the workers were focused on cutting down a massive tree, one that had stood for centuries. It was the heart of the forest. The Guardians moved swiftly. Russet and the foxes distracted the workers, while the birds swooped down to disrupt the machines. Nutkin, using his knowledge of the forest, found a hidden entrance to the humans' supply tent, where they had stored tools and supplies. Athena, standing high on a branch, used her magic to summon a storm of wind, causing the trees to sway and groan as if they were alive. The humans were thrown into chaos. They tried to fight back, but the forest seemed to fight them at every turn. Trees grew faster than they could cut them down, and strange creatures appeared from the shadows to protect their home. At the center of the battle, Athena found the ancient artifact, a glowing crystal that pulsed with the magic of the forest. She held it high, and its power surged through the air. Cyrus Wolf, realizing the forest was far more than he had ever imagined, tried to flee. But the Guardians were ready. They used the artifact's power to trap him, and with a final burst of magic, the forest sealed the humans' camp. Their machines were disabled, and they could do no more harm. In the aftermath, the forest began to heal. The trees that had been cut down began to grow back, and the magical energy that had been disturbed slowly returned to its natural state. The Guardians, now stronger and more connected with the forest than ever, knew that they had won, for now. The Guardians held a council to discuss the future. They understood that this would not be the last time the forest was threatened. Cyrus Wolf would not give up so easily, and there were always others who would seek the forest's power for themselves. The Guardians knew they had to remain vigilant, always ready to defend the forest. And so, they began to establish new protections for Elderwood. Athena's wisdom would guide them, Russet's leadership would keep them organized, and Nutkin's agility would continue to help them move unseen. New animals joined the Guardians, learning the ways of the forest and the magic that protected it. The forest was safe once again, but the Guardians knew their work was never done. They celebrated their victory, knowing that, together, they would always defend the forest from those who wished to harm it. And as the sun set over Elderwood, the creatures of the forest stood united, watching over their home, forever.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. And for more fun stories, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. See you next time.